technologies. Today I will present very briefly our results from the H2020 project BIMA, which is about a building renovation scenario generator. Because of time constraints, I will come straight to the point. So what we want to do is we want to generate renovation scenarios based on an IFC file, which is in a certain way compatible to our system, in order to illustrate different building renovation options, evaluate their impact on the building performance, so like calculate KPIs for each of these options, and guide the user through the different options of renovation scenarios. So if it's better to build like 20 centimeters insulation on the outside wall and change the heating system, or if it's better like to insulate the roof and change the windows, or kind of different measures. You got me? So you have like different measures per building, which is like floor, walls, roofs, heating system, PV, solar thermal, hot water production, and so on and so forth. And each of these categories you can fill up with different implementations, like you can use this manufacturer for the insulation with this thickness, or you can use this type of heating system from this manufacturer. And all of these different combinations will give you different KPIs in terms of energy efficiency of the building, but also in terms of life cycle costs. And this is what we are doing here in this work. So we built a web-based system, which you can see on the bottom, where you can collaboratively select renovation measures for your building and try out how the building will perform post-renovation afterwards with the KPIs we are calculating. So we are actually using Energy Plus for calculating the energy KPIs, and then we are using an own LCC calculation module to run like several LCC calculations, like life cycle, total cost of life cycle, but construction costs, maintenance costs, and so on and so forth. Here you can see a snippet of what kind of renovation options we are supporting. So we are having the categories: facade, roof, floor, fenestration, solar collector, heating system, cooling system. We are mapping these categories to different IFC elements so that we can like identify what kind of renovation measures are feasible for what kind of IFC element. So what are potential renovation measures for these IFC elements? And we have a rule set on how the renovation measures can be combined and applied to the building, because you can imagine that it's not straightforward in order to combine all these measures, because some are cancelling out or some are not compatible to each other. And we have one constraint, which is that we can have only one reservation measure per building element. Like you cannot, or the system is not considering like putting an outer insulation and an inner insulation on the same wall. It just chooses one of them at a time. And here you can see how complex this can be, not going into the details here, but you have to imagine that if you are combining these measures with each other, it can get a quite big solution space. So you have to, at calculating the KPIs for each of these renovation measure configurations, you have to run quite a long calculation time. So we try to keep this small by guiding the user through the system, by letting them choosing only renovation measures which make sense based on the rules that I've explained before. The entire reason for this is to like guide them and keep the combinations as low as possible in order to calculate only feasible scenarios. What we are doing here for the IFC file manipulation is we are using the XBIM toolkit to load the IFC file, extract all the information out of it. What we are doing also with the generator is we are taking the baseline IFC file modifying it in the system and providing the user a modified IFC file back, which represents also already the renovation measures. So you can take this file then and continue with the editing in Revit or ArchiCAD or any editor you like. So you're not trapped into our system. To conclude this very short presentation about this thing, what we have built is that we are having here a screenshot of the system where you can see in this area the different renovation options you are having. For each renovation option, you have a KPI, like economic KPIs, energy KPIs, so you can compare them to each other, you can sort them, you can filter them, you can download the IFC files. You have the green button for every IFC file, for every renovation scenario, but also PDFs, which give you more detailed information of what kind of building elements are changed and not. And if you click on one scenario, you can get here a detailed representation of what is changing which building element. So for example, here flat roof external insulation is applied with a certain quantity at lifetime and cost parameters. And you see here on the layer level what changes or what kind of layers are removed, what are added. The same holds true for the facade. And you get here also a visual representation of where this is happening within the building, so that you can get a clear look on how this renovation changes your building in the end. Yes, this was in a very short time in order to give the last presenter a little bit of time still to present our research results. I'm happy to discuss it via email or any other occasion. Just contact me. Thank you very much for your attention.
Stefan,